Here we are. Good morning. Let's just. Here we are. Hold on, guys.
Running hurts.
Oh. Right. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, you all can hear me. Mic's plugged in, everything in. Coffee's here. For a second, I thought I was going to be late for my own party, but here we are. So yeah, very chilly today. I've done the just come back, done the school run. My face nearly fell off. It's like -5. It's absolutely horrendous. Anyway, well, happy Friday, everybody. So how's everybody been? Don't forget, the point is we're going to be sharing some good thoughts, positive things. I know I have to catch up some of you guys to join in. Because I think it's again the delay when the stuff comes in and looks like a bunch of adverts first. So I'm just going to give it a minute if that's okay when it goes live there. And there we are. Right. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Whoever's there, just confirm that you hear me okay, and then we'll proceed. Please. I know some of you are not really into typing in and all that, but I just want to make sure. There's a bad delay. You can. That's good. Awesome. Anyway, so how's everybody? So positive things then for the week. I shall start. A busy week as usual. A few more nice products to test out and that. And the positive one for me, right? Some of you might laugh. I bought a Christmas tree, right? The real one. It's something that we do as a tradition anyway. Every year we'd buy a real one for the front room. You just can't beat it. Although it's kind of ruined my no buy rebellion thing when you don't buy stuff. But it's kind of a little bit different. It's not rubbish. Maybe it's unnecessary to some degree, but anyway, we love it. And so they're home bargains, $14.99, and they had only 4 available. This is how bad this is, right? I think we mentioned on the last stream, apparently there was meant to be a shortage of Christmas trees, and they're going to be like dwarfed as well because obviously due to the weather and everything. So the one I got, I think it was just about 4.5 foot or something, or 5 foot, pretty much like last year, really. So we have to raise it up on a box and cover this up so it kind of stands a bit tall. It's ridiculous, but I do refuse to pay from a garden centre some Christmas tree at like 60-70 pounds, which I think is absolutely horrendous. It's one of those, it's pretty, it smells good. You know, it'll sit there for 6 weeks or so, and then that's it, it's gone. Could you not buy Christmas trees in Spain? To be fair, they're kind of one of those divisional subjects, aren't they? Some people love them, some don't. It kind of feels like it's a waste of a tree in a way, but then they do grow them for it. But it's one of those. Why could you not buy real Christmas trees in Spain? Is my username highlighted? Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, some people do buy the potted ones. Does anybody want to join me at the front, by the way? Because I can post the link. I should have done this already, actually. I had a potted one before. For some reason, it didn't survive. Luckily that for you, though, because I actually read somewhere that the potted trees are not designed to be like potted on for long, if that makes sense. Like they have some issue with the root system, that they only designed to be in a pot just for a bit longer time, but not to be able to grow over year on year. This is what I've heard anyway. But I said I've tried once. It didn't work. It kind of makes sense, really. But yeah. Oh, I see. They don't grow. I would imagine they would import Christmas trees to countries that can't grow them. I would imagine. But to be fair, you know, plastic trees are really good now. We've got plastic trees in the kitchen. Plastic tree. But yeah, it's, you know, they could be really good now. Depends how you decorate them as well, doesn't it? But yeah, I suppose the temperature for the trees, I don't know what was this year that's bad for the trees. It rained a lot, we know that. It was rather mild, but Christmas tree takes longer than a year to grow, I think. I don't know. How long do they take to grow? I don't actually know. I'm pretty sure a good few years anyway. We used to drive through, towards like Manchester, Birmingham way, and I think there's like Christmas tree farms there, and they kind of range from a teeny weeny baby trees to like a taller tree. So I do think it takes quite a while anyway. Sorry, is the question, so when you message, your name shows up in red? No, not in the messages. No, it doesn't come a tag. If you tag me, if you type somewhere, you have to put at, like tag my name or the channel name, if that's what you're thinking in the comments. But no, otherwise I don't. Or if you reply to my comment, right? If you just click into read it and then reply to it, then they'll yeah, it'll tell me it's for me. But I still don't get like specific notification. I just read them as like messages and stuff. If that makes sense, right? So yeah, 3 years. Yeah, probably. It's strange though, right? The Christmas trees, considering the apple trees and everything else, takes quite a while to mature. And the trees, especially if they're decent, like big size, they're huge, aren't they? So you planted Christmas trees last year, and they're tiny. Yeah, I can imagine they do take. But again, I think they grow certain things, probably GMO trees or something. I don't know. Who knows? So potted one's still going. Okay, I might give it a go. I remember, where did I see this? I think Tesco's a couple of years back. They were clearing them off after Christmas for like £5 in the potted tree, because they're normally I think £25 this year, and normal little ones are 40 quid for the same size as the one from Home Bargains for yeah. So I can see you trying to add stuff. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, so has anybody else bought the Christmas trees? I don't know. Our tradition, right, was normally to put up the tree or buy the tree or put up the tree last week of November, or last Saturday of November, or the first Saturday of December. But this time, because I only seen like 4, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get them. Because last time I bought it on time, it sat in the garden for a couple of weeks, and they literally sold out within days, and I haven't had any more deliveries. And I really didn't want the risk of having no real tree at the front. So yeah, is anybody else putting the Christmas trees up? I know that people already have like Christmas decorations outside, like on our streets further down the road. People got like blown up snowmen and all sorts. Everything is like ready. I know some people will do this as soon as the Halloween's passed, taking the decorations off, put the Christmas trees up, which is fine. But I said this year we I think going to be decorating this tomorrow. It's just kind of one of those things. The weather's been miserable, and I don't know, because I've got the tree now. It's either going to sit in the van, sit in the garden, get peed by the cat, or we might as well come in inside and just, you know, we'll start getting the ball rolling anyway. Let's see. So what's anybody else does then? So do you guys have specific days you put the Christmas trees up, or is it just as and when? I do apologize when I scroll through the messages. They are screen shakes on the iPad, so it's not just it's weird. So you use November to December. Going on next week. Yeah, I've started, right, little one, because my little one has been excited for Christmas, as kids do anyway. She's 5.5, so she obviously loves the idea of Christmas. And because we already told her of somebody, my husband did tell her that Christmas is like soon. So of course every day she's like asking when is it Christmas. So we started the new tradition, rather than basically spending the whole like weekend putting up decorations at once. I'm basically taking up one decoration time, right, a day, and then I put a decoration somewhere in the house. And then her job was, after she come back from school, she basically tries to find it. And it's the simplest things, right? It doesn't cost anything, but it keeps her entertained for a while. So as soon as obviously as closer we get to Christmas, the bigger the decoration is going to be. So that will be easy for her to spot. But at the moment, they're like tiny little, like Christmas trees or little light or something that's kind of on a windowsill or something that she can't really sort of see them. But I thought it was fun anyway. So, right. So anybody else then? Before we go into, well, we've got the a quiz. I've decided to go down the preppers emergency preparedness kind. I thought make a difference from the happy one last time. But anyway, anybody else before we go that? So I'm just reading through what you talk about. Still the replies. Anyone else got anything positive to share? That was the idea. Anything good happened to you? Anything you exciting for? Come on, guys, give me something. It's coming up to Christmas. Got to be exciting to some extent. I know it's all commercialized and there's stuff is everywhere. Horrendously rubbish chocolates everywhere. Anybody else want to share anything good? Or we're going to be moving on to the quiz. Or any questions before? I don't know, any videos, anything you want to ask me before we start reading other questions? And I can see there is a delay of like half a minute when I talk here and what you guys get to see, so I do apologize. Oh, you had snow yesterday. Okay. Whereabouts are you from? We had Well, it tried to snow, but you have nothing positive. Ah, well, at least you're here anyway. The whole idea is the Happy Friday, just to we're trying to look um positivity, which because obviously so much negative stuff happening. Of course, we all know this, and I'm the normally the bearer of the bad news, unfortunately. But as I said, I'm trying to offset my bad karma carbons of doing this happy chat Friday with a quiz. So at least we can just cheer up a little bit, even if it's for like half an hour. Just have a quiz to chill and forget about all the nonsense that's happening. I know it's easier said than done because the world is horrendous, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Yeah, we haven't had snow. It tried to snow, like teeny weeny bit, and I was like, have to have a double look because it was nice. There was no clouds, but it was just tiny little flurry was going. And I hope today might have snowed. Beautiful day, but then now they ruined it with the things flying about, and now it's getting a bit new code for the doggy. Not spend a lot of Christmas this year. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I said this before. There's really Christmas is not really all about the spending, though, is it? I know they make it that way. The whole idea that all the companies are always there trying to make us spend money on one thing or the other, but I just refuse. Really, as I said, we told our little one Santa's only going to be bringing her like 3 gifts. We're going to get a couple as well, so she knows. But generally, it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. I remember the times like before looking at the commercialism and stuff, you want to go out, buy new decorations. Is that we always seem to like force by, not say by the media, but the shops, the encouragement of forever changing your decorations, changing your cushions. And I used to like swap around, and it's like, you know what? Why? Who needs that? It's not really what matters, really, is it? Thing is, get yourself a tree, decorate lights, just enjoy the festive time, just something to look forward to. I know it sounds a bit weird, but yeah, we don't really need everybody to say everybody's tight. The money's tight, prices through the roof anyway. But we talked about the Christmas dinner, right? I'm going to ask you that, guys, questions actually. Has anybody ever done Christmas dinner that's not a Christmas dinner, right? Because we always thought, right, let's just break the rules a bit. And last year I've done a turkey. The year before, I think I've done beef and something else for the Christmas dinner. And we do traditional thing, the usual thing. You wake up, you start preparing your veg, that sort of thing. And then I'm thinking, well, it's a tradition, right? We all do that, like a Sunday dinner. Majority still do. What if? And my husband said, what if we have like a turkey burger for Christmas? I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that. I think whole part of the day of Christmas as well, that you do spend time like on the kitchen doing stuff. Because if it's just a burger, you're like, okay, let's make a patty. Okay, let's make our mince, fine. And then like, okay, now what? So has anybody ever actually done anything that's like really not a proper Christmas dinner, but something weird like that? I wonder. You lot just talking to yourself now. Is actually anybody listening to me? So anybody else done any random dinners? No? Right, okay. Well, you chit chat then. I'm gonna get on with the quiz, I think, in a minute. And more people are joining, so right. So is out of you guys who are here, so we always eating our favorite meals. Okay. No roast then. It's interesting. One day last year we had the suggestion of making the we're making a pizza, like a Christmas pizza. And I'm like, okay. Again, that's something I might try if I do roast this year. Christmas pizza sounds like nice. Just imagine a nice crispy pizza base, some turkey, some cranberry sauce, some brie. That could sound really good. Always looking for Christmas, so you have normal food. I can have fair enough. If you're by yourself, I suppose you're not. It's just a day. In the end of the day, and it's strange though, isn't it, that we all sort of put so much effort. And before, remember, stressing over this. I was preparing like Christmas or thinking for Christmas before, long time ago, sorry. And I was preparing like some vegetable bakes and everything else. It was just a horrendous amount of time, just worrying. And then the day comes, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's just one day, just Christmas. Okay, you get up, you cook all day, and then what? You just eat, and then you're knackered. So yeah, Christmas pizza. Yeah, So I might try, if we do roast, I'll do the pizza. See, we've got pizza oven, right? Outside pizza oven. Is one of those uni ones. We had this for a good 2 years. It makes amazing difference, like, especially if you make obviously pizza dough and everything. It makes an amazing pizza, but it's so cold outside, and especially if it's wet as well. It's not really, even at the cover, it's not really nice, because pizza oven warms up to like 500 degrees. But by the time I carry it in on the panel inside, it's probably going to be stone cold. So, but I would love to. It's now we're talking about pizza. I'm hungry. I want a pizza. Now I have to be careful about the flour though as well. Oh God. Anyway, it's horrendous. Anyway. Okay, right. So out of the peeps that are joining now, we all preppers or we not? Because I don't know. See, we all obviously people join for the channel for different reasons, for different things. But I decided to Oh, I see. Sorry. Whoever you were just talking about at Anna's Food and Lifestyle. Sorry. I'm now looking at, because I'm looking at the stream from my streaming through the software, through the pad. But now looking at the computer, I can actually see that you are highlighted, what you talking about, highlighted my name. It is there. So yeah. Yeah, it all comes up. I can see that in red. So yeah. Right. So preppers. Yes, I am in UK, and I was born in Eastern Europe a long time ago. I spent majority of my life here. So, right, okay, then preppers and not preppers alike. Are we ready for the quiz? Right, so it's divided, right, into different, let's call it tiers. The first part is a fairly easy one. So, well, let's do easy ones. They are easier type questions, and then we're going to have some slightly more difficult questions. So, right, get yourself ready, peeps. My coffee's getting cold. It's so freezing here. Why? I can see the comments coming in there, guys, but I'm not seeing half the comments coming in here. Bear with me, please. Yeah, the flower video, yeah, it is horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. The part is, right, the thing is, because they've started that, the government obviously published the original article 2024, end of last year. So it's coming up to a year. It's been done so quietly, right? It's already been implemented in a lot of things. Although I popped into Asda yesterday, and their bread flour so far doesn't have it added yet. In already a lot of even the breads that they bake in store or frozen and then baked, they already got this added on, unfortunately. So for now, I think if you haven't stocked up on flour, if you wanted to, you can do so. But it's going to be only a matter of probably, well, they said until end of 26, didn't they? So they've got a year, but it's already halfway out. So you have to be, for now, be careful if you do buy bread or flour to make sure you check the label, or just what happened there? Sorry, it just says you're not. It says I'm not there. Can you guys see me? It says there is an error and there's no live stream. What happened there? Can you just please let me know? Okay. You can see me. Okay, thank you. For some reason, it just says there's an error. Oh, I find I'll just ignore that then. A bit of a thing then. Yeah, the ingredients with bread. Yeah, some ingredients are horrendous. I don't eat supermarket bread. I just don't. I'd rarely eat bread anyway. But it's not the really point about the bread, guys, in terms of it's people's choice really whether they choose to eat the bread or not, really. But it's the whole fact that our choices are taken away when they started putting stuff in it. But it's not just about the bread, you see. It's like things like pastries, cakes. Do you know what I mean? You still need a flour to do this, and unfortunately, you can't make short crust pastry or puff pastry with the wholemeal flour. It's just not going to be the same. And this is the point. Amongst many things, if you do make anything else with the, like, or donuts or whatever people do, it's just so much more, such a bigger picture than that. This is unfortunately why it's terrible. I like a pizza, but having a wholemeal based pizza base, it's just not the same thing. It's never going to be the same. I don't want to lose the freedom of eating what we want to eat, but Yeah, I will consider. We talked about milling last time. I will consider the mill. I think eventually we'll see how it goes. We don't need too much of it, but it's just yeah. Anyway, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, are we going to be ready for a quiz? Ready? I'm still not sure why I'm not playing. So hopefully. Okay, right. Shall we do it, guys? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to kick off then. Okay. I'm going to start you easy, right? So, okay, what is the most effective way to store rice for 20 plus years? So, multiple questions like last time, okay? So, A, original supermarket bag. B, glass jar. C, Mala bags and oxygen absorbers. And D, vacuum sealed in plastic. So, what do you reckon? Now, would you go away? Okay, okay. Pretty much the same. I do apologize, guys. I think the advert's coming on halfway. Okay, so the correct answer is C, which is yes, Mala bag and oxygen absorbers. They still do those really good ones. Or glass jars with oxygen absorbers. Yeah, absolutely. The only trouble is the glass jars are obviously translucent, so you have to make sure that you really put that somewhere really dark. But that's why the Mala bags are really winner. And as well, the weight of the jars as well is horrendous. Anyway, okay. Ready. Next question. Which item is the most essential in the first 24 hours of an emergency? A, food. B, water. C, medication. And D, blankets. Yes, mites can get into the jars as well, absolutely. So food, water, medication, or blankets. Wow, that is a delay. Look at that. You just said I'm there. No, it's not all. No, no. Most essential in the first 24 hours. Right. The answer is B, water. Obviously, water is number one prep. We'll cover this on the preparedness video. Right. Next one. So which of the foods has the best natural shelf life? A, dried beans. B, peanut butter. C, tinned pasta. And D, fresh potatoes. So the best natural shelf life by itself. Make a mixture there, okay. Majority, okay. So majority are going for A, which is the dried beans. And yes, that's correct. This is, we talk about the natural shelf life just by themselves. Of course, you still got to, oh, sorry, I already gave the answer. I'll go through that again on the next one. I just go a bit slower. But yes, the dried beans are the most naturally, in a natural way. Of course, still better to have them still stored in the Mala bags or whatever else. And I actually pre-bake my beans for a little to kill all the because sometimes you got the little, not the weevils, but some other things that actually bury themselves in the grain. So you want to kill that before you're putting that in the storage anyway. And the peanut butter is good, but it does go, it separates a lot. And I've cleared up going through my purging stage at the moment, cleaning up the stuff in the cupboards. And I found one that was 2 years past the date. Still smells fine though. The peanut butter still natural aroma, but it's separated a lot on the top. And it's a bit of a pig to, it goes really, really hard at the bottom. It's really hard to get it kind of scooped afterwards. Right, okay. So the next one. So what is the most reliable water purification method when you have no gear? So we've got A, filtering through cloth. B, boiling. C, adding salt. And D, shaking the container. Somebody put C, adding salt. B, okay. Okay. All right. Well, majority of you are correct. It's B, of course, it's boiling water. Right. So next one is a bit more trickier. Which light source lasts the longest in storage? A, cheap torches. B, solar lanterns. C, wind-up torch. And D, paraffin lanterns. So which is the light source as the longest in storage? So some got A and B. Okay. Any more? Okay, so you got a mixture there. So the answer is a wind-up torch, purely because of the few of the failure points. They are what they are. It's not a lot in there. Of course, everything else, solar stuff's got little elements and everything else. So the answer is a wind-up torch. So it's a little bit of a tricky one. So anyway, so what is the best all-purpose tool in a bag? A, hammer. B, multi-tool. C, screwdriver. And D, a pocket knife. So the best all-purpose tool in a bag, or get home bag, or whatever bag that you have. Okay. Well, pretty much the same. Go on. The water wasn't even on the list. It's a tool. We're talking about the tool. Unless you're watching like really behind me. So anyway, the answer is B, multi-tool. Okay, purely because obviously it's got a screwdriver and a knife and everything else in there. Right, okay. So next one is going to be an easier one. No food, no food. Because it's the best all-purpose tool. That was the question. Right. Right, so question number 7. Let's go with that. So which disasters are UK residents statistically most likely to face? It's going to be an easy one. So A, tornadoes. B, flooding. C, wildfire. And D, hurricane. Okay. See, I told you the first one's going to be easy, but towards the end... Okay. So we've got some A, we've got B's, B, falling off a ladder. Yeah. Highly possible in some instances. Right. We all done? Yeah, it looks like it's a delay. Definitely a delay. I do apologize. I don't know, like if you join halfway through, especially if there's an advert there, I don't know, you can't be behind because that's just crazy because it's not how live stream should work. Anyway, so the answer is, of course, is flooding. It's been really horrendous, like especially in Wales, in Monmouthshire, horrendous floods. Like a whole town pretty much gone underwater. It is ridiculous. We never had so much rain. See, we've got a river nearby, and it's when it rains, all the water from the mountains gets into the river. It rises like hugely. And if that river ever bursts and breaks like the bridge, we're like stranded. The only way for us to go through like really long way around to get somewhere. Right, okay. So the next question. So which is the ideal temperature range for a long-term food storage? So we've got A, 0 to 5 degrees Celsius, B, 10 to 15, C, 25 to 30, and B, 35 to 40. So ideal temperature for a long-term food storage. It's so chilly in here. So B, okay. Yeah. All pretty much the same answer, you guys? Yeah. Okay. Yes, the answer is, in fact, B. See, to myself, I was a little bit surprised because I thought technically the colder the better, but apparently sometimes cold will affect certain stuff in the food, so no. Okay, right. So next one. So what is the most common prepping mistake people make? Right. So A, buying too many things. B, not rotating stock. C, storing too much rice. And D, keeping everything in the garage. So what's the most common prepping mistake? Buying too many items, not rotating, storing too much rice, or keeping everything in the garage. Yeah, bees, yeah. To be fair, some of it is also... You can never have too much stock, I don't think, to be fair. Okay. So the answer is it's not rotating stock. Although I gotta say, and I've always been a true believer, again, preparedness is different for everybody. Some stuff I just won't rotate because I just don't eat it. I've got to say, like tinned meats, like a spam type thing. I don't eat them. I don't want to eat them, but they'll sit there because they'll sit there for a long time. But generally, for the things that you do have long term, obviously, it's a good idea to rotate that. And yes, it's a better idea to keep it in the garage, unless the garage is temperatures constantly maintained. Because if it goes up and down in temperature, do you remember I did a video about the sorry, not enough chocolate yet. When the temperature fluctuates a lot, it's really bad for the tins, like really bad. So anyway, okay, moving in. So which type of battery keeps its charge the longest in storage? Okay, so go on. This is going to be a tricky one. A, alkaline. B, rechargeable battery. So C, zinc carbon, and D, lithium. So which type keeps the charge the longest? I need a canine here. Oh, mixed answers there. C's and D's. Okay, we're done. A lot of going for zinc carbon. No, it's actually, we ready? It's actually D. It's actually lithium. I don't know why, but okay, so you're talking about yourself. That's fine. Right, okay. Ready to move on? Yeah. Catching up. Right, okay. So what is the most important 3 in the survival rule of 3? 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, or 3 weeks without food? The most important 3. Well, we've got C, A. The most important. Come on, guys. That's like the easiest one. Okay. Well, the answer is of course it's 3 minutes without air. Isn't it good to be 3 days without water? If you can't breathe, if there's no air, then it's not. So yes, so it's 3 minutes without air. But I can see why that could be like a tricky question, guy. But that's the idea, right? So yes, it's air. Because if you don't have air for 3 minutes, that's water, food, none of it actually matters anymore. Anyway, so next one. Which item is the most versatile in emergencies? We've got A, duct tape, B, matches, C, rope, and D, bandages. Most versatile item in emergency. Sorry, you missed the air part. Okay, gotcha. Blame it on my signal. So which one? So we've got the duct tape, matches, rope, or bandages. A. Okay. Duct tape. Yeah, all done? And yes, guys, you are correct. The duct tape is the answer. And as I say, apparently, if you can duck it, so basically, yes, if you can't fix it with it, then just leave it. So anyway, this is correct. Next one. So what is the best all-around fuel for cooking in a power cut? Okay, A, petrol, B, butane, C, propane, and D, rubbing alcohol. So the best round fuel for cooking. So you can get better at quizzes. Once you do them, that's fine. Just have some fun with it. It's fine. So wood. Okay, yeah, wood. If you got like a what you call it, wood burner, that's good. But we're talking about the all-rounder for like in the power cuts. Yes, of course. If you got the wood, that's fine. Yeah. So the best all-round fuel in cooking in the power cuts: petrol, butane, propane, or rubbing alcohol. Do you rub in alcohol? Okay, right. The answer is wood wasn't in on there, but I'll take it anyway. For some of you, yes, wood is fine if you got a wood burner. Right, so the answer is actually C, which is the propane. Stable, long storage, and very versatile. So, right. Okay, the next question. That's an easy one. So, what is the main benefit of keeping cash as a prep? A, it's lightweight. B, ATMs might be down. C, it won't blow away. And D, it looks tidy. Honestly, some questions are hilarious. But here we go. It's a fun Friday, right? So here we go. What's the main reason to keep the cash? To be fair, I don't think I even really needed to give you the multiple answers to that one. We should all know the answer to that. A is lightweight, yeah. Well, come on then, guys. Excuse me. Wrapping Christmas presents, yeah. The next question should really be where to get some extra cash to stack away as a prep. That's going to be a difficult one. Anyway, we're all done with this question, yeah? So basically, yes, it's in case of the ATMs are down, you need to have cash. But then generally, if ATMs are down, then the shops can tills won't work anyway. So anyway, it's a different matter. Moving on. Okay, we ready? So, which food is least likely to spoil quickly once opened? A, flour. B, jam. C, pasta. And D, powdered milk. So which one is least likely to spoil after you opened it? I say mixed, okay. Majority of you are getting this right. The answer is yes, absolutely, pasta. Obviously, flour will get flour mites regardless what you do. Flour will get flour mites, and I had this issue time and time again without proper storage, even in the medium term. Sometimes if they're there, that's it, the end of it, and then there's a whole clear out. Obviously, jam it will eventually spoil, but the pasta will last pretty much forever. Powdered milk keeps, yes, it does, but once it's opened, like with anything, it will kind of collect moisture anyway, and it will just get clunky. But anyway, the pasta is the ultimate option. Right, okay. Ready? Again, you should know this one again. So which UK natural disaster causes the most yearly damage? A, earthquakes. B, flooding. C, snowstorms or snow. And D, landslides. So the most yearly damage. I think they talk about financially for the country. So you're going to B. Yep. Okay. So the answer is flooding. But to be fair, actually, you know what? There's for the earthquakes. Do you know how many earthquakes like happen in UK like on a daily basis, almost on a daily basis? It's actually horrendous. There's the app, and it's like you can monitor all the earthquakes because not all of them are get like mentioned on the news. Because if they're just like 1.1 or 2, anything that's below 3, I don't think it gets publicly mentioned. But it's actually horrendous how much happens. Right, next one. Ready? Sorry, guys, just catching up there. Right, okay. So which item should be stored away from a long-term food storage? A, salt. B, batteries. C, sugar. Or D, rice. So which out of those you cannot store or shouldn't store next to your long-term food? Okay, you coming in with the B's? Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Good shout. Yeah, because obviously batteries leak is acid and it happens. And you know what? Even they say the batteries, you should keep them so they don't touch together or whatever. I found a pack of batteries in the low carb sleeve, the little ones for low Christmas lights things. And unfortunately, they just started leaking already. They're brand new. They just things happen. So if you have this near the food, obviously it's going to ruin your food. So there we are. Okay. So what is the most reliable fire starting method in a wet weather? A, matches, B, cigarette lighter, C, ferro rod, and D, paper and magnifying glass. So reliable, the most reliable in a wet weather. Yeah, flint is ferro rod, the same thing. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you got some of you go for B, some of you go for C. So of course it's C, because you don't always have cigarette lighter, but at the same time you're not always going to have a ferro rod with you, unless of course you're prep. We have one on the EDC, which I do not. But anyway, okay. So which water storage container is most durable for the long term? So storing water long term. A thin plastic bottle, glass bottles, HDPE containers, or stainless steel flasks. So for the water, the most durable long term. You got stainless steel flask. I do apologize, guys, for the delay, because I have to wait when there's gaps there. I have to wait to see when you're not delayed. I'm not delayed, sorry. Okay. Unfortunately not. I don't think any of you got that correct. Apparently it's HDPE. Yeah, most durable. They're the thick plastic ones, but they have to be obviously the food grade. It's actually really important if anybody does that. The word of the caution. We bought for our camper van, we bought some HDPE, well, meant to be HDPE big containers to use for the wastewater and the clean water, which apparently claimed that they are food safe grade. And they arrived, and unfortunately, they didn't have a stamp on it. Any of the food grade container for water long term should have a stamp, food grade, and a stamp in there, and they didn't. So we're not presenting them. So if you do get them for any whatever reason for preps or your campers, make sure that they are stamped with HDPE. This is the safest way to make sure it's actually safe plastic. But yes, it is still, excuse me, that's, I think logically, you're not going to be having a lot of metal flasks lying around for long-term water and, you know, not thin bottles like I do anyway. Okay, right, next one. So which prepping philosophy guides the idea, store what you eat and eat what you store? A, minimalism, B, rotation system, C, bulk prepping, and D, seasonal prepping. That's okay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Hopefully, same time next Friday. I'm just go with D. A. No. Are we done? It's actually rotation system. So store what you eat what you store. This is as a prepper thing. So there's to say whatever you obviously store, you have to eat it and eat basically what you store it. So you rotate so the stuff doesn't get stale and old. So we're caught up, yeah? Right. So now, so we are accomplished now. I believe we've done the first. Yeah, we've done the first lot of main questions. So now it's going to get a little bit harder. So wait for it to catch up. So, right, next lot of questions, right? This is actually very similar. So I haven't, anyway, which storage method gives you dry beans the longest real world shelf life? A little harder, yes. So vacuum sealing in a jar, Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers, freezer storage, or original packaging but kept cool. Okay, that's just a slightly easier one, just to, again, get you in there. So which storage method gives you dry beans the longest real-world shelf life? Similar to the question we had already. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay, right. So, yeah, Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers. Pretty much, guys, with any preppers, if obviously some of you may be new to prepping, but generally anything, the Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers are pretty much like the halo of the best thing ever. Like for preppers, it is the best thing ever. You can pretty much put anything that's dry, less than 10% moisture, and you'll be fine for a very long time. Right, okay, so moving on to next question. Right, you ready? So, in a no power situation, which cooking method wastes less fuel? A, boiling food in an open pot. B, slow simmering. C, pressure cooking. And D, frying. So, in a no power situation, which methods waste less fuel? That's going to be interesting. Okay. I thought that would be trickier, guys, but you got it right so far, yeah. Majority anyway. Okay, done? So yeah, the answer is C, pressure cooking. Because obviously pressure cooker uses less fuel, so and it cooks the food quicker. And we're talking about the one of those off-grid pressure cookers. I still yeah, depend. I know one of those hay boxes. I know I heard that somebody mentioned that before. They sent me the link. It's one of those like when you cook something and then you put it in and then it slow cooks for like really long time. But obviously the question is for like you still have to boil something to some degree, I suppose. But pressure cooking, because you can cook literally anything, yeah, really quickly, I suppose. I've got one of those still and I kept it. The old-fashioned ones, not like the plug-in jobby, but the one you still got with the handle like a saucepan basically with the lid. So but yeah, those, sorry, the guys that you talking about, those the whatever, the slow cooking stuff, what do you really, apart from stews, so you boil stuff, you put it in there and you wait for like 7 hours or whatever, apart from stews, there's not really a lot you can cook there unless you can cook rice or something. But yeah, pressure cooking could do. To be fair, the old one, like I have the, well, to be fair, they're all scary. Even the can of the pressure can, every time I'm doing this, I pretty much like to leave the room, especially when it starts like shaking on the top bit. I just don't like it. It is scary. It's something like one of those weird things, but it, as long as you follow, all of them got the fail-safe things to pop first so it doesn't explode. But okay, yogurt and rice pudding. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay, no, fair point, right. Okay, so moving on to another similar question. So which common household chemical becomes dangerous to store near long-term food supplies? A, baking soda. B, bleach. C, Epsom salts. And D, white vinegar. So which one is you shouldn't be storing basically next to your food supplies? Okay, so macaroni, cheese, boiled eggs. Okay, fair enough. Bleach, yeah. Okay, everybody's saying bleach. Anybody else? Okay, right. Yes, the answer is bleach, because after it starts to deteriorate, apparently it creates a gas that could ruin the food. But I gotta say at the same time as well, vinegar. I had issue with the vinegar. I have vinegar in one of those 5-liter containers, and unfortunately I had it a couple of times. It was stored under the stairs in a cupboard, And one day I opened the cupboard and I'm like, oh, it smells a bit funny, a bit strange, and a bit damp. Basically, the vinegar's exploded. So again, over the time, they changed in temperature. Although that's been inside, it's made it basically explode. It just kind of shriveled in, like, you know, some water does sometime. And then it just basically just bursted and it leaked everywhere. And again, if you keep this near the tins, that's also going to be really bad. And also, apparently, the baking soda, if you do keep this in like a closed container, it gives off gas. So it could also explode and kind of go everywhere. Not that it's going to ruin your food too much, but it's not something that you should be doing anyway. So there we are. Anyway, sorry. I seem to give you like a life lesson with every question or every other question. I do apologize. It's like, I feel like a teacher half of the time. I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyway, so during the extended blackout, which item gives the most hours of light per unit? A, candle, B, LED lantern, C, oil lamp, and D, tea lights. It's a tricky one, I think. So during extended blackout, which item gives the most hours of light per unit? So going with B is B. 7-hour candle wasn't on the list. Okay. So I'm just reading by the bleach. Sorry, I do apologize. So the answer is the B, LED lanterns. So they offer obviously dramatically longer runtime per energy source. Obviously, yes, you can get candles that last like 7 hours as well. But anyway, so okay. So this is the last one of the difficult questions. And then we're moving on to slightly harder questions. So anyway, so in the flood scenario, okay, which water source is least risky after treatment? So after the flood, which one is the least risky? A, tap water that lost pressure. B, rainwater collected during a storm. C, river water near farmland. And D, puddled water. So after flood, which one is the safest for you to purify, basically? So you've got mixed answers there. Okay. Right, the answer is rainwater. And the reason is because the tap water could be contaminated, especially during the floods, especially with the sewage. So yes, the river runoff also be contaminated with potentially like the pesticides from the farmland. So yeah, so the answer is the rainwater, always the rainwater. I know still obviously rainwater can contain, but I've done, and again, I'm meant to be doing this video like, oh my goodness, I've been promising this for forever. Testing the waters, right, to show you the fact is, yes, obviously, in spite of the stuff in the sky and everything, the rainwater, to what we can test, is pretty much as pure comparing to other things as well. Again, we can't test everything. I physically can't test everything. But anyway, I will get to this video sometime, I promise you. Right, okay. So, ready for the next one? So we're talking about the slightly harder or slightly trickier questions, okay? Let me know you're ready and we will shoot. Just making sure I'm catching up. What are you really going to say? A paddle water. Paddle water will collect all sorts of stuff from the road, wouldn't it? All sorts of, I don't know, rubbish, dirt, whatever. Right, okay, I'm going to be moving on. So, in total darkness, which fire starting method has the highest success rate? Right, so A, ferro rod, B, big style lighter, C, stormproof matches, and D, battery and steel wool. So in the darkness, total darkness, which is a fire starting method, has the highest success rate? Come on, guys. Excuse me. Oh, you got mixed. Okay. No, see, okay, no. The answer is a big star lighter. So the big lighter works even without seeing, obviously, the spark, and obviously fail far less often than anything else. So in a pitch black, because you can't see, you'd be scrambling for matches. So a big lighter, star lighter is the answer. Right, okay. Ready for that one? Next one. So I'm just waiting for all the others coming in. Right, so which long-term food storage item is most likely to outlast the person storing it? So A, honey, B, sugar, C, salt, and D, white rice. That's going to bring some, I don't know, I think it's going to be a different one. I think everybody's going to guess differently. Come on then. Honey, sugar, salt, or rice? I knew this was going to get you guys. Okay, are we done? The whiskey wasn't on there. You seem to like to answer the give us the answers that are not actually on the list. I like it. It's what we call thinking outside the box. Right. Okay, we're done. So the answer is B, salt. Salt's got indefinite shelf life, no degradation at all. Honey will eventually crystallize even a little bit. Sugar will harden. Rice can oxidize, and salt stays perfect forever. So, right, there we are. Next thing, we're moving on to, it's not too many questions, so, right. Next question. In the total grid down event, what is the most valuable trade item? So, A, batteries, B, clean water, C, antibiotics, and D, fuel. So, total grid down, what is the most valuable trade item? Batteries, water, antibiotics, or fuel? And B. Okay. I don't think you can change your mind. So batteries, clean water, antibiotics. Okay, right. The answer is B, water. Like we said, guys, water is #1 priority. Of course, fuel and batteries run out, antibiotics are limited, and clean water is the only resource that people need to survive immediately and the long term. Right. Okay, that should be an interesting one. Next question. So which shelter material retains the most body heat in freezing weather? A, a wool blanket. B, down sleeping bag. C, a Mylar space blanket. And D, fleece. So which one is the most warmest, let's call it? Okay, somebody goes with the wool. Anybody else? No, none of you got this right. None of you got this right, sorry. Not yet, anyway. Okay. No, guys, I'm afraid not. The answer is a down sleeping bag. Apparently, all those feathers are inside actually by far outperform the wool. And the mylar blankets, although they reflect cold, they have very little thermal properties. So the down, goose down, is the best way to keep your body heat. Right. Okay. Next one. Right. Slightly tricky one again. A person loses heat fastest through which condition? A, wind exposure. B, wet clothing. C, sleeping on bare ground. Or D, snow on clothing. So which is the fastest way to lose your body heat? Okay. Mixed thing there. Okay. I think only one of you got that right. We're done? The answer is C, sleeping on the bare ground. Apparently, this is one of the most underestimated things by preppers when they're thinking that sleeping on the bare ground is actually one of the worst things you possibly do is to sleep on the bare ground. Apparently, it saps the heat out of you. So yes, bare ground. Okay. Right. So now then, the last thing, guys, we have is three more questions, and then I'll let you all go. Okay. So they are a tricky one. So the sudden death question. Right. You ready? Come on, get your thinking hats on. Last three questions. And you can tell me how you did in the end. Right. So in a full survival scenario, which single item increases your long-term chances of survival the most? A, a knife. B, lighter. C, a metal pot. And D, a tarp. So which one of those items increases your long-term chances of survival the most? Knife, lighter, metal pot, or tarp? Come on. True survivalist. Mixed answers there coming in. It's a tricky question, though. I'm going to give you that. Okay. Well, I got you with that one. The answer, okay, is C, a metal pot. And I'll tell you why. So, a metal pot allows you, right, boil water, cook almost everything, sterilize instruments, melt snow, make broth, carry water long distances, make solar steel, store food away from pests, and even use it as a singular, what did I say? Oh, signal or tool, sorry. So basically, without water, right, you can't do anything, and this is totally pointless. So a pot is your only best survival. I know it's not me making it up, though. It's not me making it up. But it is, you can take a plastic bottle, but you can't boil water in a plastic bottle, can you? Because you will just melt it. But anyway, this is apparently what it is. Right, so the next question. So in the long-term survival situation, which resource becomes impossible to replace once it runs out? A, batteries. B, fuel. C, medicine. And D, salt. So in the long-term situation, which resource becomes impossible to replace once it runs out? Batteries, fuel, medicine, or salt? Okay, so got mixture. Majority of all got batteries and Okay, right. Some of you got this right. So the answer is actually salt. So salt cannot be improvised. You can improvise with certain other things to power things, but salt, your body needs salt. You need it for hydration. You need it for the muscle function. You need salt, and without the salt, you can't do. So salt is the smallest, but one of the most important things. Again, probably rather underestimated one as well. Right, and the last questions. Right, the champions round. Ready? So the question is. You live next to the sea, that's good. In that instance, yeah. Anyway, so in a long-term collapse, which of these gives you the best overall chances of survival? Not short-term, but overall for months. A, years worth of food. B, reliable water source. C, a defendable shelter. And D, a strong, trustworthy community. That's the last question, guys. So which one for long term? Okay. Anybody else? Get your answers in? Last orders? Okay. Right, well, some of you got this right, guys. So yes, the most important thing is a strong, trustworthy community. Food runs out, water can get contaminated, shelter could be destroyed or overrun by groups, and skills fade when you're exhausted and alone. With the communities, obviously, it's community, you all look after each other, you can grow things, you can do things. So yes, the community is an answer to this question. And I know there's I think divided thing with the preppers and generally the community, because some people think that the lone wolf is a better way of going forward. But again, when you're by yourself, depending of course on the situation, but you know, total collapse and all that, communities are better. But anyway, neighbors are poor. Yeah, I don't think there's really neighbors. Generally, I think community may be a community of people that get together. I don't know, but this is just hyper-theoretical type thing, apparently, as a mindset for preppers and stuff, that survivalists, that community is a way forward. Anyway, so okay, well that accomplishes our. So how did we do then? Did you enjoy the quiz? It was something slightly different. I thought it was rather easy, but again, I think because I'm the one that's doing them, I don't know, it's difficult because I know the answers anyway. But well, hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. Oh, it's so chilly, so chilly. Sunshine, my goodness. So, okie dokie then. Well, anybody's got any questions before freeze? Oh, I finally seeded my lettuce. I dug out the lettuce from outside. It's growing in the office there. It's not doing that particularly good because I don't think even lettuce doesn't like that cold. But anyway, well, that's a good idea that you learn some bits as well. That's the idea, I think, with the prepping quiz, because obviously not everybody, we're all at a different stage of preparedness, aren't we, really? And this way you can get to pick up some bits without not saying sitting there reading a book or something. It's just a little bit fun, but you subconsciously they'll kind of settle in the back of your head, if that makes sense. So next time something might pop up as a question somewhere, you're like, oh yeah, I know the answer to that one. So cool. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you did well. I think there's only a couple of questions that kind of tricked you, but I don't know. Maybe next time I'll make it a bit trickier. I don't know. Let me know. Like message me or whatever, what sort of other, do you want to do another preparedness one, or we can do like, oh, do you know, I had the game, right? And it was rather interesting. I think been given by my friend last Christmas. It's called Guess the Bumhole, and it's like an animal card game. So basically it shows a picture of a bum and you have to guess what animal it is. Not that we're going to play, you know, Guess the Bumhole game, but just sort of the quiz type, I don't know, a specific direction you want to take it. We can do more prepping ones. We can do yes, true, false. I don't know, whatever you want, we can do. The possibilities really are endless. So yes, the spray in the skies today. I said this morning, I think you missed this, Chris, this morning. It was perfect, nice day. I said I'd done a school run and going for take my little one. Beautiful day, clear skies, amazing. And as soon as I got home, I look out of the back from the kitchen and stuff everywhere, and it's now getting a bit. It's that grey stuff, right? It's sunny, but it's grey, if that makes sense. The sky is grey. We all know. Obviously what they're doing. So anyway, so yeah, give a suggestion then for the quiz then. If not, I'll just pick something, not the bumhole one, but just pick something anyway. So right, you guys got any questions or anything else before we finalize the Friday happy live chat? It seems the quiz is taking like an hour. That's taking a long time. If I probably didn't give you like millions of lessons in each question, probably been half the time. It's just funny, you know, talking about the skies, right? What always makes me laugh is how accurate, well, this is again, people obviously might not think, but how accurate they are by predicting. Like if you go, for some reason, Google, like on the phone, likes to tell you the rain stopping in half an hour or rain starts in like half an hour. But you know what, how accurate they are? It's like, is that like they're almost making it up, like making it happen? Oh, I wonder. It's funny though, but it's so precise. It's horrendous how precise this is. It's weird. Well, it's yes, happening everywhere. It does on a certain days because, well, guess what? Because they're telling us it's going to be raining on Saturday, because it's now cold. It's -5 today. Was this morning anyway. But from Saturday, it's 9 degrees and it's raining. So they need to prepare the rain, don't they? So of course, you know. Yes, quizzes are good. Well, that's the idea. That was was my original thought, or not just my thought of. It was your idea, guys, to do a happy Friday just to get some positivity going. The quiz was kind of my idea, just to get, you know, because you lot don't really want to talk too much. You just want me ramble and listen and just answer. So that's fine. If the quiz is our way forward to bring some positivity, then so be it. Do you know what I mean? I'm all for it. It's a little bit of fun, so it's good. So should nobody trust the neighbours? Well, some neighbours, I don't know, it depends. We've got a really good neighbour, lovely neighbour. Again, you don't know what's behind people's minds though. But again, there's some really good people about. Do you know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it? But anyway, if anybody done with me, then any questions or anything else you want, and then otherwise we shall just finito. Okay, I guess not. That's fine. Okay, well, anyway, guys, thank you then. Hope you enjoyed that. That's good. I'm glad you had fun. And all goes well. I shall be seeing you next Friday with some other quiz. As I said, if you want to message me an idea, give us an idea. If not, I'll just select something anyway. So cool. Anyway, all right then, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. And thank you for whoever going to be watching this afterwards. I hope you also enjoy the quiz. Otherwise, guys, I shall see you next Friday at 10 a.m. I see you then. Bye-bye.